All right, so after that short introduction, here is a video explaining the volume of prisms and cylinders, as well as the volume of pyramids and cones. So the basic idea here, the volume of a prism and a cylinder is going to be the area of the base times the height. And the volume of a pyramid and cone, because of, if you remember the demonstration, we have that a prism and a cylinder that has the same height and base as a pyramid or cone. You can fit 3 of the pyramids and cones into the prism and cylinder. So that means that you have 1/3 the volume of the prism and cylinder. So we're going to have the same formula times 1/3. Area of base times the height. So let's take a look at this example. We've got a rectangular prism. So here, you can choose any of the sides to be the base, but let's say I choose this side to be the base. So my volume is going to be the area of the base. Well, how do I find the area of this rectangle down here? The area of that rectangle is just 2 times 3. I don't have units here, but I will add them in at the end. And then finally, we're going to take the area of that base and multiply by the height, which in this case is 5. 2 times 3 is 6 times 5, and the final answer is 30 units to the 3rd power. It is important to include that to the 3rd power, otherwise your answer will be incorrect. Next, we've got the rectangular pyramid. Oops, sorry, I meant to go down. Now we've got a triangular prism, right? So we just did a rectangular prism. Now we're going to do a triangular prism. So in this case, let's use this part here. This is going to be the area of our base. And so that area is going to be the area of a triangle that looks like this. And so if you remember the area of the triangle, our volume is going to be, the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. So this piece right here, this part right here is just the area of the triangle base. And then we're going to multiply by the height of the whole prism, which is 10. So then multiplying 1/2 times 5 times 2 is just 5. And 5 times 10 gives us 50 units, again to the 3rd power. Finally, for a cylinder, we're going to do the same thing. The volume is going to be the area of the base, which in this case, our base is a circle with a radius of 4. So if you remember from the previous lesson, the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. And then we're going to multiply the area of that base times the height, which is 6. So again, just notating here, this is the area of the circular base. All right, we're going to multiply this out. We've got pi. First, we do the 4 squared because that's order of operations. We deal with the exponents first. This is times 16 times 6. 4 squared is 16. And then pi is 3.14. And I'm starting to use these squiggles here because 3.14 is approximately pi. It's not fully pi. Times 16 times 6. So I'm going to pull out my calculator, and we've got 3.14 times 16 times 6, which gives us approximately 301.44 units to the 3rd power. All right. So now we're going to compare these with our formulas over here. Well, if you notice, this rectangular pyramid and this rectangular prism have the same base because they both have a base of 2 times 3 and the same height. They have a height of 5. So I'm going to write it out the full way. The volume is 1/3 of the area of the base, which we already did. It's 2 times 3 times 5. Which is the height of the whole pyramid. But we already solved this part of it here. So If this were a new problem, go ahead and solve it. But in this case, we already know that that part is 30. So we have 1/3 times 30. And 1/3 of 30, it's the same thing as 30 divided by 3, which is 10. So you've got 10 units cubed. For this triangular pyramid, we have the same type of situation. We've got the volume equals 1/3 times the area of the base, which we did earlier, 5 times 2, times 10. So again, right, this part here is the same thing as this part over here. All that we're doing is we're multiplying by 1/3. So when I do that, I end up with 1/3, and then this section that we already figured out was 50. So in total, we have 1/3 times 50, which is the same thing as 50 divided by 3, which is 16.6 repeating units to the 3rd power. Right, and then finally we've got a cone. Again, they have got the same base, the same height. So we'll have the volume is 1/3 the area of the base, pi times 4 squared, times the height of the cone, which is 6. We already figured out this part here. That becomes 301.44. Actually, this should be here approximately, right? Because we figured this out with using 3.14 for pi, which is approximate. And then we're going to divide that by 3. 301.44 divided by 3 is 100.48 units to the 3rd power. So I'm just going to write a quick little reminder here. Remember that multiplying by 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3.